Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a very special episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. I am joined with Maria Quattrone. Maria, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris. I'm honored to be here. I'm looking so forward to our conversation today.
Awesome. Okay. Now, although soft spoken and incredibly courteous, Maria has sold 2,700 plus homes. That is over $700 million in real estate sales. And she is very involved in the top 1% of the real estate industry, but also with Motto Mortgage and taking over the mortgage industry as well. So, Maria, I'm very much looking forward to our conversation today.
Oh, great. So it looks like we have to update that bio because we have quite a few more sold than that. So
Come on, hit us
on
with
the
it.
list, Chris, on the list. The list is never ending here
That
at
is
MQA.
that is amazing. Well, come on, hit us with the updated numbers. What are we at?
Yeah, I was just looking. I think it's around somewhere around 34, 500. And then I didn't finish the volume side. I figure like the units is, over 19 years. It's a good amount. We're going to be doing a lot more there than that moving forward yearly. It's been, a good time this year, an interesting time, a challenging time. You laugh, you cry, you yell, you take a nap.
That's a great suggestion, actually. That is awesome.
All of
Oh,
the above.
that's it.
Sometimes it's all in one day.
Well, um, it is an interesting market. And so
Yeah.
let's start with, well, first, I would like to know how you built such an incredible organization. When did you get started in the real estate industry, and then how did you grow to this point, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So I started in 2004. It was March of '04. I was introduced by a good friend of mine in the fall prior, so the end of '03. I did some research. I was at the time and I'm working in radio sales as an advertising executive. We sold radio airtime and marketing programs here in the Philadelphia market. So that was no joke of a career. Very, very difficult to sell air. You can't see it. It plays for 30 or 60 seconds and then it's gone poof, bye. So you could sell air, and then I would go to car dealerships and nightclubs and universities and all these different clients, and some of them I get kicked out of. um some would have to be waiting an hour, some would have to go get money in the bag of cash to pick up to pay for the airtime. It was crazy times. Those are the 90s. And a whole what happened then, honestly, I was fine with it. It is what it is. But if it happened today, everyone would be arrested.
Right
I
on.
kid you not. Everything would be wrong. You said this wrong, that wrong. I mean, it was wild times and I had a great time at it. I wanted something more. I wanted the ability to control my financial destiny. And I have a strong sales background, but also a strong marketing. And so I'm creative, which is how we kind of got to where we are today. From putting myself out there. When I got into the industry, I immediately, within a couple months, when I became full time, the first year, I had a dual career. Once I left my position in radio, I within 2 months hired an assistant. Within a couple other months, I had a buyer's agent, and then another. Which in '05, really teams were not a popular thing,
Yep.
and people's attitude with me was, "Who does she think she is?"
Mhm.
And who do I think I am or was, is somebody who has zero skill set in administrative. So I required people.
Mhm.
And I said, if I'm going to do this business, I'm going to have a team because I'm good at some things, but a lot of things I'm really not that great at. And so let's focus on the skills that you are good at. Although I was listening to something on the, I don't know, podcast last week, and they said, should focus on things you're not good at as well. I'm still thinking about that one. I'm not sure. I agree 100% on that. Although I've had to have learned in the last several years a lot on the ops side that I didn't know, and I was able to learn and adapt. But one of the things that kind of happened was I think it takes away from the genius of really what you're really good at. Because you're putting energy into something you really don't like to do versus
Yep.
putting energy into the thing that you love to do. So it's debatable on that. So fast forward, I had a team and another brokerage for, I guess, around 8 years or so. And then in January of 2014, I opened Remax at Home. Whew, buying a real estate franchise. I don't know if I was dumb or dumber, or I don't know. They say brokers are broke. Anyway, we run a team office here. And we've had many iterations of it over the last, it will be in January, this coming January, 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And
Congratulations.
so, and it'll be 20 years for me in the real estate industry. And this May, I just surpassed my 30th year in sales.
Hmm.
So yes, I have a lot of sales experience, marketing experience. But what I would say is, like, today our team makes up, we have about 15, 16 agents, somewhere in that range. Um, Listen, if we turn people, if they're not doing business, like, we talk to them, if they don't come in or show up at the meetings, we are very involved in our agent partners' lives. Our agents are our partners. They are not our clients. We have a different, our clients are the people that we work for, who are buyers and sellers and investors, and we work with our agent partners to help them build their careers in real estate. So we only want to work with professional real estate agents, whether they're new or they've been in the business. We do have a program called Rise in Real Estate. It's an internal program right now, that we will be, taking out to the market at a later date, but that the agents will go through with us. And we also have a scholarship program where we brought people in from outside of the industry who have never been in real estate. And a couple, no, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six of them have been here. They came last year and they are rocking and rolling, and they never ever were in real estate before. And they're all doing a couple deals a month each. So um, that brings us a little bit up to speed. But in this last year, when I literally opened Motto Mortgage Expert Solutions in March of 2022.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. So, well, there's that. So it's, when you open a business, people think, okay, well, it's going to work out right away. And things don't work like that.
Yep.
And you have to try different things and see what sticks and see what doesn't stick. And, be committed to making things work and finding a solution. Our number one core value, which is also my podcast, is to be the solution, which came from COVID, and which came before that from me calling expired listings. And now I'm training our team of agents to call expired listings and force out by owners, lowest hanging fruit in the marketplace.
That is very, very interesting. So there's so much to unpack there. There's mindset, there's all sorts of things. But I think with our listeners, one of the questions that we're hyper focused on is building value for real estate partners, the relationship between the realtor and the mortgage professional, for the mortgage professional that understands the value of a true partnership with a realtor. We have a lot of people that follow us that are always looking to provide value to real estate agents. And with your Risen program, you've basically got a blueprint where you take real estate agents, you teach them to be successful. So I think there's a lot of value for our listeners in the mortgage business of, like, what do you teach? What do you train? What is valuable to a real estate agent that a mortgage professional could potentially get behind or share or give, um, compliance, whatever. Um, but what can a mortgage professional do to help a realtor build their business in today's marketplace?
I can tell you it's not going to dinner, lunch, and happy hour.
Yeah. All right. All right. Note taken.
So I would say that getting into the grind with them, smiling and dialing,
Hmm.
helping each other out. not only providing the obvious of great service and don't run away from them and give them the bad news on the phone and not via email or text, but working the database, working the people that they have, saying, "Who can I help you call?" Making those calls, finding opportunities for the real estate agent and passing that opportunity back, and not just waiting for the agent to bring the business to you. I'd also say, depending on upon who you're talking to, ways that the real estate agent can also grow their business. What can they provide? Are they great on mindset? Can they have a conversation about that? Can they provide, like, I read this great book. You should read this book. They had so many really amazing things in it. Um, Referring them to other people that could help the real estate agent, like a real estate attorney who maybe handles estates, um, a bank that maybe they know, that's a local bank that we know that there's going to be foreclosures and REOs and keys for commercial real estate being handed back, things of that nature, things that are not buying the business. And I say buying the business by, you know, everybody who's in real estate honestly can buy their own lunch and dinner. Most of the people, unless they're brand new and they have no business. I'm assuming we're talking about professional real estate agents who treat this as a career.
That's right.
It's every once in a while, is it nice to be treated? Yes, but sometimes we really don't even have the time to go to sit to lunch.
That's right.
I sit at my desk. I have food, I bring it from my house most of the days. If not, I tell my EA, go get a roasted chicken down the street. I'll have some sliced tomatoes and cucumbers, no carbs. That's what we had today. And I said, there's a whole big chicken. So my husband had some, he was here, and my EA had some, and we roasted chicken, tomatoes, and cucumbers on a plate. But I know it sounds silly. No, don't eat high carb meals during the day. It slows you down. And try not to eat any whatsoever, or very, very little, like some fruit, but limited,
Yep.
limited carbohydrates. Plus, I'm gluten free, so
Oh, nice.
I keep to that. Yeah.
You know,
That's been like since '09.
no way.
um, yes, and sugar free too.
Healthy body,
So
healthy mind, healthy business.
yeah, yeah, I can still work on it. I have other things still to work on. So I'm a work in progress.
Aren't we all? And
Yes.
so, um, yeah, so you mentioned again a lot there, but I'll unpack calling FISBOs and expired listings because here at Connection Incorporated, my company, we have a program called the Concierge. And what we do is we provide North American based professional appointment setters to make phone calls to past customers, lists of qualified referral partners. We work online leads for some businesses. And the reason why I developed that product is because people will not pick up the phone. Even if you take a look at, hey, I'm going to go invest in Zillow leads or whatever it is, they're actively putting money out and won't call the leads. So to solve that problem, it was like, okay, we're going to get somebody to call the leads and book the appointments for you. Making the phone calls is such a valuable thing. So can you walk me through your training for a real estate agent on how to call expireds, how to call FISBOs, so that a lender can understand how they could do that with the realtor to provide value?
So, for example, in expires, first of all, you have to understand the mindset of a seller who's expired.
Hmm.
They're pissed off.
Yeah.
They're getting a million calls, not a million, but say 50.
Yep.
They didn't sell in 6 months or 1 year. They've been on the market.
Okay.
They blame the agent, most of them.
Yep.
Sometimes it is the agent's fault, quite frankly. They didn't because they weren't transparent in telling the seller the truth. But it's not always the agent's fault. Sometimes it's the client's fault because they didn't listen to the pricing. Sometimes it's the marketing. Sometimes the pictures stink, which is kind of the agent's fault, that part, right? Or the
Yep.
description's wrong. I've listed properties where it said it was 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. It was 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, and makes a big difference in a small 1,000 square foot home.
Yep.
I listed properties where they said it was 750 square feet, and they built out the back and they never put it back in, that it was at 10,000, 1,050. 300 square foot is one third bigger.
Yep.
So, there are like things that happen. So, anyway, you need to know the mindset of the expired. That's number one. You need to know the questions to ask, which we have all the scripts and dialogues on that. And in my company, you have to memorize them and pass a verbal test. That means a role play to be able to be on the expired listing team.
Hmm.
And then we have a whole program of how we set we send a appointment, and then they get pre-list materials. We have a pre-list file that's pulled, which is 11 or 12 documents that we utilize to make sure that we are pricing the property properly. And then the meeting with the seller, of course, and then we have a checklist, a very long checklist of here's all the things that need to happen to get this listing to market. It's very extensive. It actually takes us a long time, like a lot of time. So when people don't keep their appointments, it's very frustrating because we already prepared, whether it's myself, a couple members of the staff. This is a many people are involved in this. It could be 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours to prepare for an appointment. So, but the thing is with the expires is that the person who keeps calling is going to win.
Hmm.
We know that on the first contact, only two sales, generally 2% of people buy. The second contact, 5%. The third contact, 10%. By the fourth contact, 20%. 80% of sales happen between contact 5 and 12.
Yep.
So if you don't plan to go deep and go five deep, 5 times minimum to call people, don't even bother.
Yep.
48% of salespeople do not pick up the phone to call the lead. 48%. They get a lead in a database, they do not call them.
Yep.
Only 15% of salespeople. This is not related to real estate. This is insurance, mortgage, any sales. You can go and look at the data in inside sales. They have a whole suite of data. Salesforce has a whole suite of data, and I think that they're probably the gold standard.
Yep.
So 15% of salespeople will call 5 or more times. So your competition is only 15% of the market.
That's right.
And if you call like on a Friday, nobody else is calling on Friday because everyone in my town, if they're beach people, they're already at the beach, and that's that, or they're at the Poconos, or I don't know what they're doing, but it's hot in Philadelphia, in the summer, so most people kind of get out if they can afford to. Um, so it's really important that you know exactly what to say. So, like a quick example is like this. So, Chris, I know your house didn't sell. Came up with the computers expire listing. I was calling to find out when you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of you selling your home. You'll say, I'm not selling. Okay, Chris, but if you sold this home, where would you go next? You'll answer, Florida. Okay, well, how soon did you have to be there? You'll answer. I said, well, what do you think stopped the house from selling?
Hmm.
Oh, the realtor? You say that they say the realtor. Okay, well, what did that agent do that you like best?
Hmm.
How many showings did you have while you're in the market? Did you get any offers? Yeah, I got an offer, 250. We were listed at 300. If you got that same offer today, Chris, would you take the 250? Maybe.
Hmm.
How about 275? I would take 275. Now we know that we can list it for 275.
Right. Yep.
And then we want to know like how motivated they are on a scale from 1 to 10. On a scale from 1 to 10, your house being brand new construction is a 10. One, you can't live in it. Where do you fall? I want to know all these things. I want to know. See, when I ask how many showings they had, I want to know that information because I want to know if in 6 months they had 3 showings, the price is completely off the mark. If they said they had 50 showings, that'd be 5%, maybe 10%. It may be, I won't determine that though, because I need to see the pictures, I need to see the description, I need to see every single thing if it was done 100% accurately.
Yep.
I need to see if they marketed this to somebody. So when we do our marketing, we write it as if you live in Hawaii and you've never been to Philadelphia ever before. And you don't know if you're buying a house in Old City that you're going to see the great Ben Franklin Bridge from your roof deck. You wouldn't know that, right? So you have to write your listing descriptions as if the person never stepped foot in Philadelphia. And so many agents make this mistake. So many. It's incredible. Anyway, all these things go into it. And once you understand all these different elements of it, expired listings, once you, three things. One third will list with the agent that they already listed with.
Hmm.
One third will list within the first 30 days with a different agent, and the other third will list within the next 120 days.
Wow.
Relist.
That's incredible.
And in from June to July, we had over 400 expired listings. So I always bring to the team, I said, let's figure out how much that is in commission. Let's see, 400 times, let's say 400. What's that? Oh, okay. Now times that by our average commission, and that's how much GCI is on the table. Do you
Yep.
want it or not?
Make the calls.
Let's go. Giddy up.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that script. That right there is a little gold mine of a gift hidden in this podcast for the listeners that have it. You can take this episode, plug it on over to ChatGPT, get your script, and then reach out to your realtors and say, hey, how would you like me to book you some appointments with some expired listings? And the people that are willing to do the work are the ones that are going to get the business.
Simple as that.
That's amazing. So, Maria, you have built a massive team and you do a very significant amount of volume. I'm assuming it doesn't all come from expireds and FSBOs. What would you say is like, where does the rest of the business come from for like a percentage,
So,
rough idea?
okay. When you call my office at Maria Quattrone and Associates, a human answers the phone.
Hmm.
And I could tell you a little quick story. Yesterday, a potential seller called and she said to one of our agents, you're the fourth office I called. The other three, nobody answered.
Mhm.
And we answered, and she said, you can have my listing. And we sent her a listing contract and it's signed. So every single person that calls the office, we ask who it is. We ask if we confirm their phone number. We put them into our database, get their email address. So that is one very simple thing. We get a lot of, so we could, if somebody's calling off a sign or from Google or GLS or GMB or I don't know, they saw it online, whatever.
Yep.
All those people go in the database and we convert them when they call to a next appointment. Do you need a mortgage? Are you paying cash? Oh, let's send you the motto. Okay. Are you paying cash? Great. Send proof of funds, and then we'll see it after you send the proof of funds, right? If they want to see the house. Oh, and if you're a buyer, great. Let's talk to you. Let's find out if you qualify, if you can be bought by the bank, right? If you qualify. And then if they do, we set the appointment with them for the buyer consult, and they sign a BAC. So that's kind of like how we get the business, the MailChimp, the email marketing, marketing to 30,000 people every single week. They get videos from me. They see the podcast, they see my billboards. I've been like on media, TV, the big TV stations for our scholarship program and other programs. Even just about the market update and Philadelphia Business Journal, Philadelphia Inquirer. So we get business from that and past clients. We do a lot of past clients. People read our Google reviews. So it's a lots of different places.
Okay. The question I got to ask, are you running radio ads?
Currently, we are not, but we were. But when
you need a good radio salesman to come and pitch you on that.
Yeah, you know what? What happened was when we were in last year in first quarter, I started to get worried. And so by the end, I would say of May or June, we had a contract until around then. And then we didn't renew because I knew that where the market was going. You really can't buy yourself out of a bad market.
Yep.
You got to do the work.
Yep.
And right now I'm doubling down, tripling down, as we spoke earlier, maybe more than that, maybe 5 times down on online marketing,
Yep.
organic posting videos. We talked about the reels and all that, using our MailChimp, using what we have and trying to maximize it We have the business. We have 30,000 people. A couple, maybe 2,500 of those are investors that some of them own hundreds of millions of dollars of real estate. It's a gold mine of business.
Yeah. Low hanging fruit. Focus on the low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And
So it's our database, I would say, our database, and then the expired and expireds.
yep. Database, marketing, and then referral partners. Really, the only three ways to grow a business in our industry. And so we talked about database marketing, but one other topic, and then I want to be very respectful of your time because I know how busy you are. So one of my last questions: you have 541 five-star reviews on Google, which is outrageous for a real estate company. And I know putting a focus on that on Motto in the near future. So I'm interested in how many people see your ratings and reviews online and call you as a result of that. And then what is the quality of the lead that comes in from people that see you on Google, read the reviews, and call into the office?
The quality is fantastic.
Hmm.
I tell people, go to my Google page.
Yeah.
I say, here. I might talk to them on the phone and they might not believe me at first.
Yep.
And I said, here, I call any of these people. You can call them. I'll ask them if I can give your phone number. You can call anybody. And they read the reviews. Some of them read the reviews and they call because of that.
Yep.
Others where we're calling out, we send them our link to say you read our reviews.
Yep.
But it definitely, is extremely helpful.
That is amazing. Do you know roughly how many inbound phone calls you get a month from people that just discover you on Google?
Ugh, mm, I'm not sure. I know that we get about maybe 30 to 50 leads a day right now.
Yep.
Buyers, sellers, investors. Now, obviously, they don't qualify all of them, but someday they will. See, a no isn't a no. A no is not right now,
That's right.
and so you have to. If I can leave your listeners with one thing,
Yes.
this is a long game.
Yep.
And you need to think about how long you will continue to be in whatever industry you're in. And think about it. Look, when I was younger in the business and just even 5 years ago, I would necessarily didn't think about that. And I don't mean it like, how do I say? For example, I'll give you an example. If you are in a debate with somebody, and let's say a client, and you win, you lose.
Yes, very well said. Absolutely.
I'll use that as an example.
And I same learnings for myself where you want to ask the client for the review, but I'm a pretty shy guy. And, luckily enough, we have account managers that do this work now. And every client that we have gets asked for that rating and review. But before, I wouldn't do it. I would just be too socially awkward to be like, hey, I know you just told me that you love what we're doing for you. Would you mind going over to our Google page and leaving a rating and review? I felt like I was going to make somebody angry. But if I look at the long-term benefit of those ratings and reviews being on the profile, I just want to urge our listeners, listen to those numbers, 30 to 50 leads a day coming in to the business. For those of you that don't think
No,
it's major.
actually, we are looking for aggressive real estate agents who, have whether they have a book of business or not.
Yep.
They could be new with just a little bit of experience. We are looking to bring people into our team. We know that a lot of people look. I don't know a lot of. If you look at in our county, there's in Philadelphia County through GPAR, there's 3,400 real estate agents.
Hmm.
I could say that 30, let's just say 3,000 of them do not have a 30,000 plus database.
Yep.
Probably more, but let's just say 3,000. Let's say 400 do. I doubt that 400 do, by the way. I would say that maybe 10 people do, maybe 20. Not many, not many. And so all those other 3,000 people, we have an opportunity for them that is unprecedented. They
Yeah.
could have as much, they could do as much business as they want. They wanted to make $500,000, they can make $500,000 at our firm.
It's about doing the work, staying focused on that low hanging fruit, and following your training and coaching. Well, Maria, thank you so much for being on the episode. I truly appreciate your time. For those people in the mortgage industry that are interested in reaching out, finding out more about you, the brand, potentially they have referrals for you, where do people go to learn more about you?
Yes, it's Maria Quattrone. I am on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and I'm missing something. Threads now.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome.
So, or they can simply go to my website, mqrealestate.com. Phone numbers on there. You can call me. I actually, if I do return people's phone calls. Usually I don't answer the phone because I'm in meetings, but I do return phone calls. And we do something, Chris, hopefully you do this too. I do not play phone tag. We schedule a call back for when you're available.
That's right.
And when I'm available, my schedule. Unless they call my personal cell, then that's a problem. But call the office, it gets scheduled in the schedule. So I'm happy to talk to anybody. I can pass along the scripts we use for expires, or anything else. If there's anything in the episode that you love, let me know. And I'll be happy to help.
That is amazing. Well, all that information will be in the show notes for our listeners. And again, thank you for listening. And Maria, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm honored and blessed.